welcome to day 4 in Buenos Aires. Oh, well, what have we got to tell you now? When we were at the Bramilia Hotel, they gave us a whole bottle of wine to thank us for staying just for 2 nights. It was £111 a night to be there, and we were rather touched that they should give us a bottle of wine. I don't think we were particularly remarkable guests. And when we got here to El Duque, we were greeted with 2 glasses of complimentary wine on arrival. So slight difference in scale there, and £126 a night here in El Duque, which for a boutique hotel in the middle of town is not bad, I suppose. But what I would say is that we think the Bramilia is a better hotel. It's in a slightly better location, right near the action in Palermo region, with all these nice bars and restaurants and all the rest of it. And the air conditioning here has been leaking all over my luggage. These things can happen in hotels. We shouldn't condemn them for that. And we'll wait to see whether or not they fix that today, because they've got all day to fix it. They recommended us go to a restaurant last night called Cabernet down in about 12-15 minute walk from here. And if this is going to be a true travelogue, we have to give the good, the bad, and the ugly. Well, we know what the ugly is, that's me. But the bad news is that we would recommend you do not go to Cabernet as a restaurant. The rather frosty dragon who greeted us at the door when we said, "Oh, we'd like a table for 2, please, and we don't have a reservation." I mean, the look of astonishment on her face was amazing. And the restaurant was only a third full, and in fact it remained only a third full for the rest of the night. So what all the drama was about, the fact that we don't have a reservation, was frankly ludicrous. We sat down, we were presented with the menus after a little while, which was fine, and then we were just monumentally ignored, really. We were better dressed than some of the people in there, so it can't be because of our sartorial elegance that we were being ignored. No, it's just they don't understand customer service. And so the head dragon sort of walked around staring at the walls, doing nothing in particular, and eventually I summoned a member of staff for some action. And she did come over and then take our order. Now, we wanted a bottle of dry white wine, not something terribly complicated, particularly since their slogan for the restaurant is Fuego al Vino. And well, it took us 3 bottles to get a bottle of dry white wine. They didn't seem to understand that. And by the way, this was not a language problem. My other half is Spanish. Il habla español increíble, absolutely. And yet we could not get a decent bottle of dry white wine until the 3rd attempt, which was kind of, well, you know, ridiculous, really, for a restaurant that's very smart when you go in. It's very nice. Got an outside patio area and so on. And the food was okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it was fantastic, but it was very good value. And so for a bottle of wine and 2 courses, the bill was about 40 quid each. So, you know, good value from that point of view. But I think there must be far better places to eat in Buenos Aires. And tonight we're going to, guess what, a meat restaurant with our friends who are arriving from London any minute now. They booked this, so we don't know what it's going to be like, but we've looked online and it's got those vast Argentinian steaks on platters. So we shall see. That should go down really well with my diet at the moment. What else can I tell you? Oh yes, so Buenos Aires. My goodness, this bus tour is a must-do. You've got to do the bus tour. It takes quite a long while because Buenos Aires is a big city, and you can hop on and off it as often as you want. We didn't have to hop on it or off it too often because we had already visited some of the key sites yesterday, but we really got an expansive view of the beauty of Argentinian architecture. And the parks, my goodness, the parks, laid out by a Frenchman apparently, the parks are absolutely fantastic, the green spaces in this city. I can't tell you how beautiful Buenos Aires is, and it should be on your bucket list. And it cost us about 800 quid each to fly from Barcelona here, one way on premium economy. Well worth every penny to get to this beautiful city. And the other thing to say about Buenos Aires, of course, is the architecture. This wonderful turn of the century, as in turn of the 19th to the 20th century architecture, very French in its influence. And it sort of struck me yesterday what an irony it is that, you know, all of us travel the world going and looking at these wonderful turn of the siècle buildings, and yet all the modern glass blocks that are put up around the world, I mean, some of them are quite nice and quite interesting. And you go to places like Seville that has genuinely sort of revolutionary modern architecture. But who the hell is going to be traveling in 100 years' time to go and look at a glass block? You know, it's these fantastic old buildings that are the great appeal of these cities. And I don't suppose anybody would be inclined to build them today. They couldn't afford them, they don't have the skills to do it, and they probably don't meet health and safety or sustainability targets. But by the way, modern buildings, just so you know, but basically are built with about a 20 to 30 year lifespan into their financial modelling, and they'll all be torn down and create a terrible sustainability problem a few years from now. And so the whole thing is a nonsense in my opinion, but then, you know, I'm an old dinosaur, what do I know? So yes, one of the things we saw on the bus tour was fantastic. The British have, I'm going to do some more research into the influence of the British in Argentina. It's not all been positive, as I guess you might know. And we went past a church where there are cannonballs still lodged in the facade from one of our previous visits. I mean, not me personally, I don't go around lobbing cannonballs. And then also the British donated, for some other reason I've not yet found out, a bell tower to as a replica of Big Ben, apparently. The only thing I can tell you is it looks absolutely nothing like Big Ben. But anyway, it's a great clock tower that you can climb up and go and see. So today we've had a bit of a thunderstorm this morning. I've had to do a little bit of work this morning, and so we have not got off to a flying start. T'other half has gone off roaming on their own, and that gives me a chance to do this today. And I'll also be starting to line up one of our political podcasts for later in the week. So enjoy the rest of your day. We're going to enjoy ours, and I will no doubt talk to you tomorrow about the mountain of meat we are going to face tonight. Here's some pickies for you from Buenos Aires. And just another couple of thoughts. First of all, we are amazed how hard it is to find a beer in this city. I mean, it's hot, we want to go have a beer. And we find millions of coffee shops, most of which are fantastic, except one that we walked out of yesterday because we went and sat in there for nearly 20 minutes waiting for an espresso. I think espresso means fast, and it was so monumentally slow, and despite us chivying them along repeatedly, this was a restaurant that was a coffee shop that was 2/3 empty. I mean, it looked beautiful from the outside, but anyway, it gave us the advantage of logging on to Wi-Fi. Every bar here has Wi-Fi, which meant that we could order an Uber to get us back to the hotel, because I did actually walk 10,000 steps yesterday, about 4 miles, and my little old foot was playing up like crazy, mate, and I couldn't walk any further. And when we hailed some cabs, they would not take a card transaction because they didn't have the machine on board. And that's one thing we found. We can't see an ATM anywhere. We found one ATM and it rejected our card, which is kind of odd. So we're living in hope that we can go everywhere and do everything with touch and go with our credit card. And so far so good. It seems to be working fine, which has the upside, of course, we're not going to leave Buenos Aires with a wallet full of pesos that we cannot use elsewhere. So that's the 2 hot tips. Is number 1, get some pesos if you can at the airport. Of course, in Gatwick they don't do Argentinian pesos, and we didn't find a travel bureau in Barcelona airport to get some there. I'm sure they would do them, or they should do them. And there you go. So if you want a beer, you need to plan to find a beer. Otherwise, enjoy the coffee. Anyway, more pickies.
here we are, day 4 in Buenos Aires, and I'm talking quietly because it's quite early in the morning and I've got up to have a cup of coffee and I don't want to disturb everyone else in the hotel. We're merging this film into the one for day 3 as well because not a lot happened yesterday. You've seen some photographs of the cemetery that my other half visited yesterday. Absolutely amazing, these tombs. And it's well worth doing apparently with this guided tour that goes around. Fantastic. So that's one of the must-see things in Buenos Aires. I might get a chance to go up there sometime myself before we sail away to Montevideo in Uruguay. We went for dinner last night with our chums who arrived safely from London after a 16-hour flight via Rio, poor things, on which they hardly slept, but my God, they've got stamina. We were out until nearly midnight last night, and we went to this fantastic restaurant, Cabrera, that's right, Norte, and it was here in Palermo, and you will see the pictures of the steaks. My goodness, I could not believe the size of them. 400 grams is the minimum size. They're the size of a doorstop. And they serve all these amazing things that come with it, and you don't order them, they just arrive, and loads and loads and loads of little things to go with your meat, including a creme brulee to mix with your meat. Can you imagine how fantastic? It was really well worth going to. It was very popular with locals, although it's obviously a bit of a tourist place too. The service was fantastic. They spoke perfect English for those of you that worry about that kind of stuff, and the bill worked out at around about £60 a head. That included demolishing 2 excellent bottles of Argentinian Malbec, and we would highly recommend you go to the Cabrera Norte for dinner. It opens at 8:30 in the evening. If you want to have an earlier supper, they have another branch on the other corner of the same junction, and I don't know what the menu's like there. I think it's probably something a bit different and less exotic, but it was obviously heaving when we went past that at 7:30. And obviously again very, very popular with locals. So that's our hot tip for that. We had some thunderstorms yesterday, which has reduced the humidity a bit, and we will be shortly getting organized to trundle off to the Azamara journey, which we are really looking forward to. And we've bumped into other people in the hotel here who are going to be on the ship as well, one of whom is going to be giving lectures on geography matters. He's a retired American geography teacher from Orange County in California, a place that is close to my heart, and they're delightful people, and we're looking forward to his lectures. He's promised me a front row seat, which, as Godfrey amusingly said, that means he's got one person in the audience guaranteed. Well, there you go. If you're going to do a lecture on a ship, you want somebody there. So it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, so that's it. A brief one today. We're going to be busy sorting ourselves out, but you will see later on some stuff in another film about the ship itself, which we're so excited to get there and be able to unpack our bags and not have to worry about heaving them around anywhere for the next 20 odd days. This is great news. Anyway, we're going to have a great day. You make sure you have a great day too. All right, lots of love. See you soon.